Subscribe to CIRV'N IT RAW.
Yes, Lord.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Everybody wanna be a boss, but don't nobody ever wanna take a loss. But if you a hustler, you can get it back. 10 toes down, let the paper stack. That's why I keep the pussy concentrate on my dog. Right now it's our heartstrings. Never let a headache get close to a G. Calculators and money counters, all I need.
Hey man, CIRV'N RAW, goddammit.
Yes, Lord. You done tapped in the CIRV'N IT RAW Podcast. I am your host, Gutter Kane, the Gutter Man, the Pyrex Iron Chef. And I got a special guest today. This person has, this gentleman, I say, wears a lot of hats, and we're going to discuss a lot of those hats. But I want to welcome to the Kane Room, the host of the Loving Lacey Podcast, B Aktiv. What's going on, big man?
What's happening?
Really?
It's been a long time, man. We got some history.
Yes, indeed.
A little bit.
Fresh out the gym, huh?
Fresh out the gym. Me and my son started back up this morning, man. I had to go hit the LA Fitness up.
Oh, damn.
You know, I did the little. That's why I got the T-shirt for the St. Jude's little fundraising event through Facebook. They sent me the link. I was like, why not? So I did it. Posted some push-ups. Had my little son, get on my back. Did some push-ups. And
that's like a challenge, right?
It was for last month. It just ended. It was November. 1,000 push-ups in November. They sent me the T-shirt. You know what I mean?
That's
so I figured first day back in the gym, throw on the T-shirt, go buff.
Okay,
you know, I just finished. So I was like, I didn't have time to go line up or nothing. I'm like, I got this podcast interview. I'm coming as is, man. Transparent, authentic, like always.
What's raw? You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad to have you, man. But I'm gonna start off. First, I want to know where were you born and where were you raised?
All right, so I was born in Hawaii. I ain't spent a lot of years in there in Hawaii growing up, but you know, my dad was a Marine.
Okay.
He recently, like just in the last couple of years, he retired, but him and my mom split early on. So my mom's family is from New York.
Okay.
So like I got a cousin that's married to a Wu-Tang member. Like my mom grew up with Busta and Method Man and them, like went to school with some of them. You know what I mean? Like we from Staten Island. And then when her older sisters moved out to Washington, and she was no longer with my pops, it was kind of like, come out here, it's green, it's nice out here. You know what I mean? Like,
that's how they
it's good. and my mom's sister had a shop, a little flower shop. And so two of my mom's sisters had came first. And then I think their mom, my grandma, she rests in paradise right now. And then I think my mom was the last one or one of the last ones. And she got 3 sisters. You know, we're West Indian, Native American, and black background. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I came here essentially from Staten Island, from New York in the 90s.
Shout out to Shaolin.
Yeah, I went to PS 57. You know what I'm saying? Elementary. I still got family out there. Brooklyn, upstate, in Staten Island. You know, some of them done moved around, Florida. Like, we got a big family. My dad's in Cali. You know what I'm saying? So...
Okay, all right. So you got a broad, like...
Yeah. I've been out here, you know, holding it down. So I got the Northwest on me. You know what I mean? I wasn't all the way raised. I did a few years of elementary in New York, but mainly I've been out here in Lacey since the early 90s or mid 90s.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's been a run.
Now, did you always have B Aktiv as your nickname, or?
So it's about evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll get to the
we'll touch on that. Yeah,
But when I was young, it was my first name was Little Aktiv Slim. It was the whole LA Slim. It was like a thing. You know what I'm saying? It was Little Aktiv Slim. So Aktiv has always been a part of my name. And then as I got older and I like went to prison, it became, because at first I used to spell it all the way out. You know, I was thuggy. Mm-hmm. It was a blood thing. So it was ACKTIVE.
Got it.
That was my name. It was Lil Aktiv, and then it was Slim. I was a skinny dude.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So as I got older, it started to it got shorter. It was like, all right, now I'm not Lil nothing. You know, I did 10 in the joint. So then it was just Aktiv. And then I was like, man, that the E and the CK was just too much.
Okay.
And then it became AKTIV.
Okay, similar to DJ Quick. How he,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
it
it just broke down. I got as I grew up and got older, it just made more sense to me. And then when I was going through the Jordan, well, a lot of people would call me AK. So there's a whole genre of people that would see me in the streets and be like AK. But it's because that AKTIV, I had redid you remember the old Jay-Z song, H to the is O.
Yeah.
So I did that beat when I was in the joint and we was making music, and I did the A to the kids, A, T to the IV.
Yeah.
So a lot of people heard that and was slapping it when I was in the joint.
Okay.
So the name AK stuck.
Got it.
For a long time, people just call me AK.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And but essentially when I got out in 2012, you know, I was in the streets. I wasn't doing music. It wasn't until my boy got murdered and my brother Bred came up to Washington and was like, nah, you're not finna go backwards over this. You know what I'm saying? He literally moved the studio up to Washington and was like, bro, you need to get back to music. Get back to doing something else with your energy. He used the old school psychology trick. He diversion. You know, we're gonna divert your attention to this.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna use a rapper name, I'm just gonna, you know, everybody in Lacey started to know me as just B. Just plain old B. So I just put the two together.
Same
for the rap name. So it's my first initial and my street name that I've always gone by.
Active.
So it's B Aktiv. You know what I mean? And that's just what it's been. And it plays into my personality. I'm active. I've been active. I be active. I do a lot. I wear a lot of hats. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, and I've heard people say like, oh well, he got his name spelled with a K and he's still gangbanging. I'm like, nah, that's a name. Yeah. You spell name however you want.
The fact that you took the C away from it shows the respect and the growth that when it comes to that whole gangbanging culture.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what, you know, the ignorant people don't understand. Like it's deliberate. Like I live my life with intent. I make decisions intentional now when before it was just reckless. It was just go with the flow, do this, do that. This is what's in. This is how we moving. Okay, whatever. I was a soldier. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I grew out of that. Soldierdom, that didn't get me nowhere, but in the pen, none of the soldiers or the big homies or the family, nobody wrote me or rode with me or did my time with me. And the few people that did, from start to finish, they wasn't even gang members. They was friends.
Gotcha.
They was what I consider family now. You know what I mean? It wasn't even the people that I would have expected or that signed up for the lifestyle that got me in prison, that rolled my prison bit out. It was the people that was holding me in high regard, saying, you got so much potential. Why did you even do this? Why are you there doing this? You could be doing this. Those are the people that rolled my time out with me.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So what was some of your, when you were coming up, what were some of your musical influences then? Since we still on the music pretty much a little bit.
I mean, influences, like I listened to a lot of, like back in the day, man, I fucked with Pac. You know, and I don't say that to be cliche. I've always been a fan of like lyrics, of like storytelling, of like really talking about what you've been through and how you've been through it, and not so much like the gold propellers on helicopters type of rap. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying? Or the mumble rap, or the let's just get high to be high rap. Like I was never really with that. I always believed in, you know, and I am influenced earlier. You know, my years from being from the East Coast, you know, the rap was like, it was like rapping, man. We was like having a conversation and rhyming.
So like,
you know what I mean?
Like Nas, Biggie.
Oh yeah, Nas. Biggie. You know what I'm saying? I used to listen to like the Immortal Techniques, Joe Budden. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, Mystical. Like some of his stuff back then used to hit me. You know, let's see, DMX.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously Wu-Tang.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of Wu-Tang. Busta Rhymes, one of my all-time favorites.
Shout out to Busta.
Yeah, Busta for sure. One of my all-time favorite lyricists out there. Jada, you know what I'm saying? Cam.
All right, now we're going to dive into this personal stuff, okay?
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
Olympia, the Olympian, okay, labeled you as running a drug ring. And you did time behind this whole thing, okay? I know you take responsibility for your part of it, but was that when you saw that in the newspaper? Did you see that? Like, did you feel like that tarnished your name, like?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like this: if you walk in a store and you steal a candy bar and you run out the store, that has a particular crime that goes with that behavior, that action, right?
That's true.
Now, if you stand up for that and say, "Yeah, I plead to that theft 3, theft 4, whatever," right? I did that. I was hungry. My bad. And they like, nah, robbery with a gun, but there's no gun, and you don't fit the criteria for robbery.
Okay.
Now, for you to fight that robbery doesn't make you not take accountability for your crime, because you're saying all I did was steal the candy bar. Yeah. I admit that. And so I use that analogy to say, like, I sold pills.
Okay.
Right? That's it. All the other extras, all that was blow up. Okay. And at the end of the day, when they charged me with leading organized crime and said I was running a drug ring, the very RCWs require you to have 4 people that you're leading, 4 co-defendants. I had none.
Got it.
If you look at the paperwork to this day, the federal paperwork and the state paperwork, there was no co-defendants ever charged with a crime in regards to my organization. So
yeah, I know.
No, but I'm just saying they was charging me.
I know.
You know, they was charging me. They was charging me this big. When I'm like, look, I'll plead to selling Percocets. I'll plead to that, but they wouldn't let me.
Got it.
So I'm on bail for 3 years, like fighting this case, giving this lawyer money because they were sticking to a narrative that they wanted to put on me.
Got it.
And by me fighting it, they're saying, oh, he's not taking accountability for what he did. No, I'm not taking accountability for that particular narrative, because that's not what it is. Yeah. You guys didn't look at none of the financials that I had. At the time, I was married to somebody who received an inheritance and all this, and they just bypass all that and says all the money he has, we don't know where it's coming from, so it's coming from ill-gotten gains. You don't know where it's coming from because you never looked. You never looked. Not one time did they ever actually look. And then when I was in the federal court and went in the sentencing, and they do a little bit more thorough investigation into the things, they realized, like, damn, we can't give you enhancement for the amount of money that you had in drugs, because we literally can't prove that it was drug money, because you don't have any controlled buys. They didn't have any co-defendants. They never had anyone say, I bought this amount, or I had this amount of money.
No surveillance, no taps, no...
Nada.
Nothing.
Nada. They had like some text messages from some random people that got picked up.
That were saying that.
That would say that. And then they would let them go. Just for them saying, hey, I could get you him. And then they would let these people go free. And these are the people that, to me, are more criminal than me, because I'm already like, I'm willing to admit my crime.
Got it.
These guys will do it diabolically, get women high on purpose, get caught and be like, he gave it to me, so that they could go free. Those are the ones they putting back on the streets. But the one who's like, all right, you got me. All right, what's the hit? I'm going to take it. They want to be like, oh, you going to take it? No, you going to take this and this. I'm like, nah, I'm not taking that and that. I didn't do that.
Got it.
That's not what I did.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I wanted to just clarify, because I felt like, for me knowing you, I feel like that kind of has that stigma of it. Basically, kind of goes back to this. I was looking at an interview from Tretch from Naughty by Nature, and he was just saying how when I don't know if you remember when the whole East versus West was going on, they had a Vibe magazine cover that had Biggie face and Puffy's face on it. Okay. And it's like nobody took the time to actually go in and read what was going on. They just saw in the big bold letters in the top that said East versus West. And it's like, it was like, oh, it's on. And so I felt like when you got that newspaper and you see the Olympian and you see, you know, your picture and that label, that headline, it's like,
and that's all anyone's ever really looked at. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, he local. I remember the title was like local businessman running a drug ring or something. Is because I had a moving company, which they didn't even do the math. Like, I had contracts with furniture stores that were writing checks,
which was Be Aktiv moving.
Active deliveries and labor.
Yeah, okay. I had active in that store.
Active deliveries and labor. Right. I had a contract with furniture stores with 3 different ones, and the contracts were paid by checks. So you're telling a prosecutor that hey, this company is run exclusively on drug money. We want to charge them with laundering money. But there's no cash transactions into this business. This is a contract business with companies, right?
Yeah.
And another thing that stands out is the LLC for that moving company had 3 individuals on it. You charged a person with money laundering, which is a money crime. Mm-hmm. But the person who's listed on the LLC as the accountant is a white woman. She was never charged with a crime ever. But if I run an organization, how do you not charge the people who's on the business licenses with me?
Yeah.
And then say it made no sense. The whole thing was it was a witch hunt for me. They wanted me to do the amount of time that a mob boss would do. Like they're like the thing was like 149 months, like something crazy. And it's like no gun, no violence, no nothing.
Yeah, they're
like that.
They're trying to make an example out of you.
Yeah, but what's the example?
Well, my bad. Let me rephrase that. Not example.
I'm not saying. I'm saying if they was trying to make an example out of me, what would the example be? That we can do what we want?
Well, that too. But I think the fact that a person that like you're genuine. You're genuine on everything that you do, whether it's helping people. Listening to people, giving advice and shit like that, and I just feel like a lot of times when you have individuals like that, they want to do whatever it do to take them out of the spotlight of that situation. Yeah, it's kind of like a Tupac, you see what I'm saying, or a Nipsey in a sense. They don't want them to grow. They don't want them to be that positive person, so they try to find a way to throw their name in the mud the best way possible.
Well, I was in the mud. Don't get it twisted.
Don't down me, goddamn.
Nah, I just burped. Oh. I was in the mud. But what I'm saying is, like, define what it is and leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if a guy come up and punch me in the face, when I tell the story, I'm not going to tell the police he jumped me with 4 or 5 people. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of thing that they was doing. Is they was like, okay, he's selling these pills, but it's like, nah, he's not just selling pills. He's running an organization. He's a crime boss, and he's diabolically switching cars so we can't catch him.
Yeah, they were trying to recall.
I wasn't even thinking like that, bro. I was getting cars from like auctions, and you be in the game, people give you cars for like super low prices. Like I would just have them and sell them to people, and then the people I would sell them to wouldn't take them out of my name. So then when they put this article out, they like, he had 17 cars in his name, but when they raided me, there was 2 in my driveway, and only 2 accounted for that I was actually driving myself. So it's like you would lay all these things out there and make it look a certain way just so that you could feel good about asking for this super high amount of time. Yet, you got people that's bodying people and they only asking for like 6-7 years. But again, I'm past all that. I don't have no bitterness towards Olympia, towards the county, because that's an entity. That's not a person.
Got it.
Right? There was a specific prosecutor pushing that agenda, and even that person I don't have any ill energy towards, because that's a spended energy that I can't afford to spend energy on negative feelings towards that situation. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it came out the way it was supposed to come out. Right? Got it. I didn't do all those things. Yeah, my name was in the mud because I was in the mud. Got it. But it wasn't as muddy as people thought it was.
Okay. Alrighty.
You know what I mean?
Well, we ain't gonna stay on that. We're gonna move to the more positive. I wanted to get your insight on it.
Yeah.
All right, now you being the host of Loving Lacey Podcast, what is your goal for that? I want to start with that because that's kind of like the first.
Well, when I brought it up to my cousin Cal and my wife, it was like there's not really nothing out here like it.
That's true.
There's not really a podcast or like a set. Like I actually went when I thought about the podcast just to get some props. And I'm like, where can I go get some stuff that says like I love Lacey on it? I couldn't find none. You go to other towns, you get off the plane, you're going to go somewhere and find a whole shop that got shirts that say I love Chicago, I love Seattle. Texas, I love Seattle. There's nothing that's got I love Lacey in it. And I Googled it, there's nothing. There's no stores. They're like, try Walmart. I go into Walmart, there's nothing. I go to Hobby Shop, nothing. Right? Okay. So it just dawned on me, it's like, why? Why don't we have something, even if it's just, a podcast? And so my idea was to just just represent our area. Just put stuff out there. Talk about these local businesses. There's fire ass restaurants out here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's functions that be happening. There's people that are doing big things that aren't being highlighted because it's a small town or city, and we're really not that small anymore.
That's true.
And we have a lot of diversity, especially with, you know, the military being so close and then, you know, occupying a lot of the neighborhoods. Like, it's a lot of diversity going on. There's a lot of culture in Lacey. And so I just wanted to bring it out. And it's not like we don't get paid for it. I didn't even make a business out of it. It's not even a business license. It's just a podcast. And it's like the people we put on there, they didn't pay us to put their business out there. It wasn't about none of that. It was like, man, come represent, man, put it on the map. You know, like eventually I want to get to where we're throwing functions for families and stuff like that.
Okay, so that's kind of like the goal for it.
The goal for 24 is the Loving Lacey Northwest Entertainment LLC. Okay. Where we could throw shows with comedy, with dinners, catered, you know what I'm saying, whatever the holiday is, you know, throw function, because again, there's not a lot of that in our area either. You got to go up north to go to like the average comedy joint, or you got to go to Seattle to go to like a club or a show, or, you know, things just don't, they're not big out here. There's a few little things out here, you know, there's some spots that do little things, but they're few and far between. I want to establish something that's ours, that's a regular, like that you could count on, you know, like the daddy-daughter dance I went to for the Halloween thing. They used to have them all the time. Now you got to like Google them and look for them. And if I didn't get that invite in my email, I wouldn't even have known there was one going on. You know what I mean? And so I want to throw those more than just once a year.
Got it.
You know, a son, mama one, a both parents, a family movie night. We, you know, bring down the big screen and just play a movie and serve a meal. You know, stuff like that, man. Just more family-oriented stuff. And, you know, it's all around our area. And that's why the new logo has the I-5 in it, because it's not just Lacey. Lacey's just where we at, where we from.
Gotcha.
It's Northwest.
Okay.
It's up and down the I-5. You know what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
Yeah. So, right. You know.
Now, shout out to Cal and Lacey. Yep.
Love you, babe.
Y'all, now you and Lacey went to a comedy show. Was it yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah. See, I didn't know. Look, they got a comedy club here?
So look, this, and again, that's what I'm saying. This should be random. Matter of fact, someone sent the Loving Lacey podcast page on Facebook an invite in that messenger, because I have, you know, me, Lacey, and Kat all have access to the page.
Yeah.
So if you send a message there, either one of us can see it.
Okay.
And I click on the links, not the funny looking links. You know what I mean?
No, I got
usually if I get a link and it look legit, and I know you, I'm gonna hit you up like, what is this? Mm-hmm. What did you just send me? I'm not clicking no links, so y'all know you're not getting into my Facebook, right?
Gotcha.
I'm not clicking links randomly. It's never gonna happen.
Okay.
So
right.
I did my research, hit the profile, and I reached out, and then I seen it was an event. I looked it up and had a few tickets left, and it was spontaneous. I just bought them, told my wife, like, hey, you know, my oldest son will watch the kids. Let's go check this thing out. And I bought the VIP, so we're up in the front.
Yeah, I saw the table and everything.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was cool. That was funny. It was a good joint, and it's Cove Olympia hosted it.
Okay.
But the comedy presentation was the dude with the B Baris or something like that.
I know you talking about the people you took a picture with.
Yeah, but the big B behind it, that was the dude that brought them there.
Okay, got it.
He's the one behind it all. You know what I mean? Okay. So they don't necessarily have a comedy joint. Cove Olympia is like a little bar / restaurant.
Okay.
And it's nice. It's fairly new is what I was hearing. The food was good. I got the fried cod. Man, the Brussels, my wife said was the favorite Brussels she's had ever, and she loved vegetables.
Brussels sprouts, yeah.
She said that was some of the best ones she's ever had. So,
okay.
You know, if this was Loving Lacey Podcast, I would be, you know, giving the code the big old thumbs up, shout out, and all that. But we can do it on yours.
Oh yeah, hey, that works for me.
Yeah, Cove Olympia, man, check them out for sure.
Cove Olympia, all right. Yeah. Shout out to Cove. But yeah, because I had no idea. I didn't even know about the place. You know, because anytime me and my wife...
That's my first time hearing about Cove, too.
Okay. See?
I'm glad I went, though.
Yeah, because I only go to Nate's Comedy Club, which I have not been, but I know about it. and then the Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Cove is not a comedy club.
Well, no. I'm just saying I've never been to anything like that here in Olympia. Period.
Yeah,
so
and that's another thing I want to do with the Loving Lacey, is bring more events like that here.
Okay. Well, since we on events and stuff, tell me more about your community works because.
I'm a certified peer counselor, certified recovery coach.
That's one hat.
You know what I'm saying? Substance use disorder, family navigator. So I work in a nonprofit.
Okay.
That's my day job. You know what I'm saying? And then the Pursue It If You Want It was something that I like to say I created, but I believe it was something that was given to me and I brought it to the world.
Okay.
So Pursue It If You Want It is, a reentry based, justice impacted nonprofit organization, and the goal is to give inmates while they're inside still and their families some peer support. And when it comes a time where we're getting grants and funding, to be able to give them wraparound services that will help them reunify when they get out, while they're in, maybe get the kids and the families 2 visits. You know what I'm saying? Help with bills because.
Why they're locked up?
While they're locked up, because my philosophy is, if the average man who's already in the game and who's done time, if there's a sword for him to fall on and say, "Oh, it's from my family," then that's his cop out to continue to do stuff in the game because his family's hurt, which is a cycle. Because you're the one that got locked up and put them in that situation. Now you locked up thinking, "Oh, I got to stay in the game because they all out here hurting."
Got it.
You see what I'm saying? So if you remove the sword and come through as an organization, help them with some bills, help them with some gifts, help them with some gas and some visits and things like that, then the person inside don't got no sword to fall on. Because now, if everything's good out there, all you got left to focus on is you.
Okay. And
then that's where the reentry mentor peer specialist will come into play, correspond with him while he's in, or she. Okay. It's not just a male-based, organization. There's females that get incarcerated, not as much as males, but they would still be, included, of course, and their families too. And so you figure if you tie in the foundation that they're releasing to, the likelihood of the success of that reentry is going to be more prolonged and hopefully sustainable, because you can do all the right things in prison and have all the right ideas and then get out, and then your family feels a certain type of way, or is still dysfunctional, or is using, or anything. So if you don't try to cure the whole as a whole in one process, then you're just putting somebody out onto a foundation of glass or thin ice.
Got it.
Then that reentry or that recovery is not going to work, because the place that they're going to is their trigger, or a negative environment.
Gotcha.
So if we come in and we can help them, put them in support groups, classes, skills, help them with funding, whatever we can do to make reentry way more successful and fight the statistics of that revolving door, the judicial entanglements that keep people going in and out, in and out, in and out.
Instead of just releasing them and then be like, here.
Yeah, and then the optional part of the program is taking that step further and mentoring them right into peer work. So from prison to peer work, like the ones that are interested, there's some organizations, and my mentor is a part of that. Shout out Josh, where he goes into the prisons and he's turning these guys into certified peer counselors even before they get out.
Got it.
But then there's the ones that don't get to do that while they're in there. They can get included to, Pursue It If You Want It, and we could show them the way.
Okay, so that's 2. That's 2 hats.
And then, so I do sit on the Strophy Foundation board, which is the, I'm sure you've seen the pictures online when I was at the auction.
Yes.
Pictures with it's like, it's surreal, because like some of these people I'm in these pictures with probably had me up on the board in a precinct. Like, we're gonna take him down, and now I'm like smiling, taking pictures with them, and it's genuine and it's authentic communication. And they're asking my input about, raising awareness in the community for certain things, especially when it comes to reentry and recovery.
Yes.
My wife just got hired with Evolutionz human trafficking collaboration.
Damn.
And I make referrals to them as needed.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, shout out to Jerry and everything they're doing over there. You know, I'm an integral part of that as far as like I believe in that mission. I believe in everything they got going on, and any way I can help, you know, forward that program. And now my better half is an employee. So it's like we're tied in as much as we possibly can with the community. And we hope to just keep doing more. You know, Threat Brown is also a mentor of mine.
Okay.
And, you know, young businessman of Washington or whatever, in Tacoma. You know, he's a part of that big thing. And any ways I can help him, you know, if he asked me to get involved with something, I'm there.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So
that's 3. And then you got the host of Loving Lacey with the creator. So that's 4.
yeah, and then I got the, it's called B's Blueprint.
That's 5.
Which is a whole new philosophy around recovery. And Blueprint stands for betterment, love, unity, preserving recovery, intentionally navigating trauma. And there's a whole agreement. And I created a curriculum, so I do workshops / support groups. You know, there's one a week that I do out of the office where I work. And then, you know, I give people the option that, hey, if you want a copy of these agreements, it's like a 1 page. And there's a lot of agreements that are inclusive. So they're not religious based. It doesn't matter what culture, creed, race, gang, whatever gender you identify with. These agreements are for internal evolution on a human level.
Damn.
So anybody can read these and decide, I want to adapt these agreements into my way of life. You know what I mean? And again, I believe that these were given to me, not that I created them or made them up.
Gotcha.
I believe they were handed to me as a gift, and I'm re-gifting.
Yeah, you doing that? You know, I'm not gonna lie, man. You all in, man. You probably like out of everybody that I've met, you probably one of the biggest ones when it comes to community works. There's a few. Don't get me wrong. There's a few of them out there. Like Andre Taylor, that's up in Tacoma, but like more like local. Like you're like one of the biggest I've ever seen. Like I swear to God, like every time I go to your page, it's like, damn, what he doing now? I'm like, what is he doing now? So I'm like, okay, but I saw the blueprint because it's like B.L.U and then dot and with like then print like together. So I was like, okay, so I'm like, dang, it's tight though. It's good to see you like pushing out. Like it really, basically like what you do a lot of times, it reflects on your name. That's why like I'll be like, he's being active. like he's being active. Like because you got your feet like in a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it's all positive is what I love about it. And so and then today is the 3rd. So you just dropped your new album.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
And so you titled your new album Internal Evolutionz. Why is that?
And it's where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm a fan of rap. That's just like, for me, it's art. I'm not putting thousands or even millions of dollars because I don't have it, for one, and for two, I wouldn't, because it's literally like if I had the talent to paint, I would go in my garage and I would paint. And if I took a picture of that and people are like, oh, wow, that's really great. That's really wonderful. Then maybe that painting would sell, or maybe people would want it somewhere and ask, hey, could you do this for me, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how my art is, like with music. I make music for me. It's therapy. And I get to tell my story. And the internal evolutions is the people that know me from that article narrative of the article we spoke of earlier to what I'm doing now don't understand that when they're saying you can't just change overnight. Okay, let's just say I agree with that statement.
Okay,
it wasn't overnight. I was gone for 5 years.
Yeah, that's
and I had journeys that nobody is privy to, but they were all internal. So I let myself free from prison way before I got out.
Got it.
Some of you are out here and still in prisons.
Ooh, message.
Some of you never been incarcerated and are still in prisons. You see what I'm saying? I'm free. I'm authentic. I'm transparent. I'm comfortable in my own skin. So when I do this album, there's some stuff that's explicit, but it's because some of these songs I wrote while I was inside going through the emotions. Mm-hmm. So I didn't not release them because then I felt like, well, that would be inauthentic. That wouldn't be authentic me if I don't tell the whole story.
Got it.
So within these 9 tracks, it's pieces of what I used to be, how I used to think, how I used to feel, things that I've seen and been through. But then you'll also see and hear the evolution, the way that I think now and the way that I move now is in this album. The songs progress from, I was thugging. Yeah, I was a blood when I was young. You know what I mean? And that's a part of who I am. That's a part of my journey. That's a part of my recovery. It's a part of my story. It's a chapter in my book. You know what I mean? And I'm not an active gang member. I'm not running around with a red flag, throwing bees up and hitting people up. But at the same time, I didn't quit per se. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. It's a part of it's part of my journey, right? It comes with the package. That's it. So you'll hear about some of that in the music. But you'll also hear about my relationship with my kids. You hear about the mistakes I made in relationships. You'll hear about, how much I was forgiven for doing when it comes to my wife, Lacey. Mm-hmm. It's all there. And I'm not done. I still have music that I'm working on, but I write my music as if I'm painting the world through my experience.
Got it.
So I don't care if you buy it. I don't care if you listen to it. It's for me. You know what I mean? And it's art. And then I happen to be fortunate to have some people hear some of my art and say, I think it would sound better if you had Rob Lowe on the beats. And Rob Lowe heard my stuff and was like, yo, I really like your shit. It's dope. It's authentic. Yeah. I'll work with you. And so, half of those songs are produced by Rob Lowe.
That's what's so
and mixed.
Oh, he mixed them too?
He mixed all the songs.
Okay. How many songs you got on it?
The total album is just 9 songs.
Okay.
And then I have 2 of them were released already as singles, but they're on the album.
Yeah.
Dreamcatcher 2, Death or Recovery. Those were already released. Beauty and the Bee is a single.
That's dedicated to your wife. Right?
That's the story of me and my wife, dedicated to my wife. And then I have one coming out December 12th, which is the anniversary of the passing of the greatest friend I ever had. You know what I mean? Christopher Michael Knobloch, rest in peace. You know what I mean? We call him Block.
Yeah,
so
PayPal,
the first song I ever recorded was Remember Block. That's when my brother came up within a month after, he was shot. He was shot and killed in front of me. And so I thought, if I'm going to reintroduce my music or my art to the world, it's only right that I revisited that
trauma
song and that trauma and navigated it. And the tribute song that's coming out on the 12th is by far a better song. Same people on it.
Okay.
Featuring Bred Leon, my brother from another. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Bred Leon.
Yeah, Bred Leon is definitely on the song. Jacob's on the hook. Great person. He's on the hook of a couple of them.
Okay.
Just Pain, and also So Many People. He's contributed to a lot. And man, I'm really just like, the music for me is just like, I'm a public figure. I'm a change maker. I'm a hope dealer, rapper who does these other things.
Got it.
And keeping that perspective in mind is, to me, it's important, because I don't identify as a rapper. B Aktiv the rapper is the name I use when I'm rapping, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm B, for the most part. Or, people in my job, it's like B Willis, but it's just B, plain old B. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you'll see the CPC or recovery coach after my name, or RMPS. I do the reentry mentor, peer specialist stuff for guys in reentry. I host groups, and that's really what it's about for me. Like, I don't see myself as a politician or anything, but it's like, if I can make changes that matter on a bigger level and the opportunity presented itself, I would definitely try to affect some bills in the future.
Gotcha.
That
I'm just happy to see you winning, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah, because this work don't make you rich. I don't get rich doing anything that I'm doing. Like, I'm not up. I'm surviving and I'm thriving, but I'm rich in the quality of life that I have now more than I've ever been. That's the difference.
You living.
I'm rich in spirit. I'm happy every day.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? I feel good about what I'm doing. Nobody can come through and take it away. Ain't nobody gonna cancel me. You know,
you doing something that a lot of people don't do, and that's live their life.
Yeah. But I can tell you one thing: doing the right thing is expensive, and the reason why I say that is because the only true currency that I believe has value is your energy, which is your time. The amount of time and energy you put in something is the only real currency that has value, and it takes a lot of energy and time to be in the community, making changes, to live intentionally, to communicate authentically. You know what I'm saying? Because for some people, it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people, it's really hard to look at their trauma and navigate it. Some people need that hope held for them. Some people need someone to hold their promise and let them live up to it. You know, some people want to see that it can be done. And if somebody doesn't do it, then how are they ever going to have that example and that motivation, right? So in energy and currency, the energy being the currency that I value the most, it's very expensive.
All right, now, thank you for that insight. Now, one of my main last questions that I ask everybody who come on the show. Well, what is B Aktiv's top 5 favorite rappers?
Top 5
favorite rappers.
Now, define favorite.
So not the ones of all times. You know, not your top 5 rappers of all time. That's how I used to word it. But when I interviewed Mitchie Slick, he was like, when you start saying it, you got top 5 lyrical, you got what I'm saying, stuff like that. But when you say top 5 favorite, it's just the ones that you still listen to this day. Like you're just like if you were to just put on your Spotify or your Apple Music or whatever like that, what top 5 rappers do you still listen to this day? Like you still be bumping them riding around in your car?
Okay, so I would again.
I know Tupac would probably be.
I'm gonna keep it real. Tupac was always like when you asked the question, like all time favorite.
Okay.
But I haven't heard a Tupac song in a long time.
Okay.
I'm gonna be authentic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if I go and I just decide like I just have mood sometimes and I want to listen to something, Joe Budden.
Okay.
Is one of my go-tos.
Damn. Okay.
It's just that I don't know what it is. That feel, the way he be just.
No, I mean I ain't gonna lie. Joe Budden you talking about like the mood music?
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
He be getting down.
Yeah. So I mean,
he be getting down.
You just the first person ever.
I would still listen.
Okay.
To Joe, and I'm thinking in terms of like especially when I was locked up, we had our MP3 players, right? So the type of things I was listening to, like I really like Mozzie's flow.
Okay,
I had downloaded all his stuff when I was in there in the MP3. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes.
That's 3.
I still for sure listen to Busta Rhymes on a regular.
Okay.
And what was that dude? He had the song, or was it the song or the album called GOAT? I just can't think of his name right now.
Called GOAT?
Yeah, but it was G.O.A.T.
So the only person that I know of that has a song called GOAT, but he's not famous though, but he was from Texas.
Who is it?
It's crazy because I featured him on one of my
No, Polo G.
Oh, Polo G. Okay, I'm about
Polo
to say this.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude I featured.
Don't he got an album called GOAT? Polo G?
I don't listen to Polo G.
Okay, yeah.
I know who Polo G is. Don't get me wrong. I don't listen to Polo G like that.
And the reason why I say that is because again, when I was in prison, you kind of.
That's why I got this laptop right here.
Yeah, but see, when I was in prison, I had the MP3 players, and they only had certain shit. So when dudes would come across certain songs in the unit, they would tell people, "Hey man, go check out this on the MP3." So you got to plug it in and you listen. Okay. So I downloaded a bunch of his stuff, and it was tight. You know what I mean? So I listened to him.
Okay, so you got Joe Buttons, Mozzie, shout out to Sack, Polo G, and Bus.
And then
you got one more.
Eminem, bro.
All right.
I still be listening to a lot of his shit.
I mean, I fuck with Eminem. I think Eminem's one of the.
I was just riding to we was on our way to Seattle because that's another hat I wear. Is I'm a supervisor at the.
That's 6.
I'm a supervisor for a company called Town Events, and we do the conversions up at Climate Pledge Arena.
I saw you doing that too.
The hockey stuff, hockey, the concert to hockey.
Your brother's involved in that.
Yeah, my little brother's the one who got me the job, and my older brother, and my son, and my son-in-law, and my daughter, and my wife. We all work out there.
Damn, boy.
Yeah, we got the whole family involved. But the owners of Town Events, man, they're real family oriented too, and I love them dudes. They gave us all the opportunity, and it works because the time slots work with my full-time job. You know what I mean? And then my full-time job worked with me even a little bit more and allowed me to wiggle some time so I could get my 40 in more of a compact, so I can have time to do those, get like 3 shifts a week doing that to where I'm not burnt out.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, man, it's expensive in energy to do all these different things. And mind you, I still have younger children at the house, you know what I'm saying, that require time. My wife requires time. The podcasts require time. These different, and I'm training. There's another hat. I'm training under Josh to become a CPC trainer for the HCA. Damn. So I got to train in these modules. There's 10 of them. And once I get good at that, then they sign off on me becoming a trainer myself.
Then you're doing promotions you promote your own stuff too.
Well, I just promote my own stuff mainly through like Facebook and IG. Like I said, I'm not putting a bunch of money into music because music isn't my career. I will always make music if there's beats available at an affordable rate.
Gotcha.
Big shout out to J Rush. You know what I'm saying? Like he's 100% behind me when it comes to recording me and mixing it down. It's only recently that I was able to, get in touch with Rob Lowe, and that's, again, big shout out to Bred Leon for making that connection happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, man, hit dude up. Like, he's cool. If you tell me hit somebody up, bro, I take your word on it, because I try to operate authentically, so I would rather assume that someone is authentic and find out they're not than just distrust people all the time.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? I give you a shot. If you say, hey, here's a contact, hit dude up, he knows you calling, okay, and I hit him up. If he don't respond or don't get back to me, I'm not going to keep hitting him up. I'm just going to be like, all right, that didn't work out.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Because if I give you a number and tell you hit someone up, I'm 95% sure there's going to be a connection made there, especially if I stamped it. That's a warm handoff. But no, they're going to know you're calling. They're going to know why you're calling or texting. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be receptive to that connection being made. Unless you do something to ruin that connection or show them something that they're like, I ain't messing with dude.
Gotcha.
And then I'll get that explanation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's why I think you're so genuine, because you have no problem with giving alley hoops to other people. You have no problem with helping other people. And that's just, I feel like that's a lot of reasons why a lot of us can't move forward sometimes, is because
I love that analogy, right?
Yeah.
Because when we play, even remember like NBA 2K or NBA Jam, right?
Oh yeah.
What does everybody love to do?
Do the alley hoop.
What does everybody love to see in a 3-on-3 or a game? The fanciest, dopest alley hoops, right?
Yep.
But in life, nobody like to give them.
Nope.
Who wants to give them? Everybody, I charge for that. I'm like, I got a homeboy, man. You got 80,000 followers. Let me get a shout out. Oh, see what happened was like I'm like, bro, if I had 1 million followers, anybody that's close to me, bro, I'm blasting their shit without even telling them.
Yeah.
Let alone hit them up and ask them for a ticket for it. That don't make sense to me. You say you my friend, you say you my brother, you like that. To me, it just doesn't make sense. It's not even a thing. I don't even, like, it doesn't exist for me not to be like that.
Yeah.
If I got something and I fuck with you, you got it. If it's an opportunity to promote your stuff, like you came on my podcast,
yeah.
I didn't be like, hey bro, can you shoot me a couple dollars? Because then people gonna start watching your podcast if you on my podcast. I'm like, bro, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't make no sense not to do it. We in the same area. We not doing the same thing, but we got platforms.
Yeah.
And the more combined the platforms are in our community for the similar lanes that we're in, the better it is for the community.
You're absolutely right.
The better it is for our youth to see how easy it is to just give somebody an alley-oop.
Yeah. And the drill scene definitely need that. They definitely, because they could be a lot bigger and stuff like that if they would just all work together.
Yeah, and it's like, and I'm learning you know, in the nonprofit space, even in the nonprofit space, bro, there's a lot of bureaucracy in it. There's a lot of like conflict of interest and things of that nature. And it's like, why is it a conflict? If we all in the nonprofit space, there should be no conflict of interest for you and you, or you and you to partner with me, for me to partner with you, for me to refer here. And it should all be community work is community work. Nonprofits are not businesses owned by individuals.
Gotcha. Yeah.
They're not. They're public charities.
Yeah.
They're ran and owned by the community. So who's the conflict of interest to if the community can benefit from two nonprofits working in the same direction?
Yeah.
Or you know, or
only the community would benefit.
Only the community benefits. Where's the conflict? But literally, like I've seen and I felt energies where people that have nonprofits won't promote another one, or oh, you're seeing this person, well then I can't, and this, that, and the other, and I'm just like, I don't operate that way.
Already.
And you can't make me.
Well, from Gutter Cane and Kilo Cane and CIRV'N IT RAW Podcast, we want to give you your flowers, B.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
And not just you, but the whole Loving Lacey podcast as well. So shout out, like I said, shout out to Cal and Lacey. We want to give them their flowers, man. And I'm like I said, I'm just glad to see you like winning. Like you like I said, like the things that you're doing is remarkable, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you just steady pushing and shit. And so like it's motivation for me. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey man, when I get people hitting my messenger up, like just the other day, I went live and I had read the blueprint.
Yeah, I saw that. I was at work when you did it, but I didn't see it.
And it popped up in the live. Someone was like, "Man, I'm overwhelmed. I'm going through it. I don't know what to do." And for me to be like, "Send me your address. I'll come get you. I'm on my way to work. I'm gonna take you in, and I'm gonna tie you to some resources." And I was able to do that, and now that person is thriving because they chose to take a step to get some help, to reach out. And for the fact that I was able to do it, and I don't schedule my lives. I just, if the time is right, if I wake up and it's early enough and the house is asleep and I'm able to have some quiet time and something comes to me, I'm like, ooh, I just go live.
Got it.
They're not scheduled. There's not planned. I don't have a secretary. I don't have a calendar behind me. I just do what feels right. My motivations are internal. Like whatever I feel right. Sometimes a whole thing will like play out in my head, and I don't know where it came from, but it feels good and it sounds right, and I'll go live and I'll put it out there.
Got it.
And you know, like my homeboy asked me, he's like, "Man, are you reading from the script like me?" I'm like, "Nah, bro. I'm just."
You should seem authentic, man. Like
vessel. I feel like whatever I'm saying is because it needs to be heard by somebody somewhere, and the validation that I get, that I feel good about, it's not monetary. It's the energy back when someone's like, "Thank you," and they're authentic. Somebody told me in a message the other day, like, "Hey, usually I watch just to support you, but today you supported me. I needed to hear that."
Already.
You know, that is the reason why I get behind, you know, the camera or in front of the camera, however you want to word it, and talk about my life and share my story and be authentic. And it's not, you know, super easy. It's not, also at the same time, it's not super difficult to be authentic and do the right thing. It just takes a little dedication. It takes agreements with yourself. You make eternal agreements, you stick to them, and you're answering to yourself, writing your own narrative, being the person that you want to be, instead of listening to voices that sometimes you can't even identify. Like I ask people that all the time. "Oh man, I don't like that." And I'm like, "All right, hold on. Let me ask you something. Whose voice is that?" When you say you don't like that thing, or you have this bias that you speak on so readily, are you willing to challenge yourself and ask, whose voice is that? Is that from your daddy? Is that from your granddaddy? Is that from your mom? Is that from your auntie? Whose voice is that really saying that? Are you willing to investigate that? And then a lot of times, you know, people are like, "Man, my mom used to always say that." Okay, now ask yourself this. If you know that's your mom's voice, do you still agree with that? Is that your genuine belief? Or can you agree that you can rewrite that? Now that you know it wasn't even you saying that, you can make a decision right here and now to change that belief and make it what you want it to be.
Right now, he's speaking into my videographer. She definitely needs to hear that. Okay. Well, besides everything that you've talked about in the many hats that you're in already, is there any new things that we can expect that you didn't touch on?
I'm not giving you all that yet.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
I mean, like I said, man, I take life on life's terms. Like if an opportunity arises and it feels good and it's plausible and it's doable and the energy is there to put it there, like I said, I believe my energy is my currency, man. If I got a bank full of currency and you offer me something and I can allocate some of that currency towards that thing, I'm in.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Well, before we leave up out of here, did you want to let people know how they can reach out to you and
hey man, just check me out. B Aktiv the rapper. The album just dropped. It's on all platforms. B space Aktiv the rapper. You can follow me on Facebook under Bilal Willis, the public figure. I got the blue badge, so you know it's the real one. I've never been hacked. It's all legit, all authentic. PursueItIfYouWantIt.org is the nonprofit website. You can go there. You can kind of see a little bit about what we're doing. Also, Pursue It If You Want It Facebook page. We're authentic. We post our meetings. Matter of fact, I got a board meeting tonight to talk about how we're going to come into 2024 and what we're going to allocate our energy and our currencies to make that more effective. Because reentry is big. It's huge. It's much needed, and good programs, good ways to go about it to make it better and more successful is needed. And I think I have a wonderful team. Shout out to everybody involved in Pursue It If You Want It, and the entire board. All of you know I got extreme amounts of respect and love for all of you. I appreciate you. I'll see y'all later.
Alrighty, we are out of here. Be Aktiv. Thank you, man, for coming through.
Appreciate it.
Much love. Always love, man. Alrighty, y'all. We is out of here. Peace.
Just make sure the coke fire. Told the jeweler cut some links and bring the gold higher. He wanna shoot it, he hot-headed, he ghost rider. Send him through your shit like Robin Givens with the old iron. Swinging, fork in the glass pot clanking. Holding the boat, they ship sinking. I make one brick, two without blinking. They was sleeping, now I got them rethinking shit.